Well, Anthony Albanese went to Papua New Guinea to sign a historic defence treaty, and he came home with a press release. But don't worry, he says it's all upside.
There is no downside in this whatsoever. This is all upside for Australia and upside for Papua New Guinea.
Ah, yes, in Anthony Albanese's world, failure is just success in disguise. The theatre was set in Port Moresby, a grand table, gold pens, and a solemn air of a big announcement. This was supposed to be the moment Australia and Papua New Guinea forged an ANZUS-style pact, an agreement that an attack on one would be treated as an attack on both. Instead, the cameras caught the Prime Minister signing a communique, so flimsy it could double as a takeaway menu.
What this is about is the processes of their cabinet that we respect. It's been a busy week this week. The wording has been agreed to. The communique today has signed outlines precisely what is in the treaty.
Right, so we've signed the communique outlining what's in the treaty that hasn't been signed. And this is what our Prime Minister expects us to believe passes for defence against China. No wonder Beijing calls him handsome boy. This is strike two for Albanese in just 8 days. Last week, Vanuatu refused to ink a $500 million deal, reportedly thanks to a nudge from Beijing. Now Papua New Guinea's cabinet can't even assemble a quorum to endorse the treaty our Prime Minister had already declared as done and dusted. 2 trips, 2 failures, one increasingly red face. And yet Mr Albanese insists there's no downside. One imagines if his luggage goes missing at the airport on his flight home, he'll call it all upside because, well, at least it would spare him any heavy lifting. The contrast between leaders is particularly telling. Have a listen to Papua New Guinea Prime Minister James Macpherson talking about how concerned he is about the defence of his country.
As Prime Minister, I go to sleep every night worrying if someone invades my country, what is my defence for my country?
Macpherson lies awake at night contemplating existential threats. Albanese, he just lies down. And remember, this wasn't even Canberra's idea. Papua New Guinea asked for this treaty. Macpherson wanted it. All Albanese had to do was show up and sign, but somehow our Prime Minister turned a layup into an airball and then claimed the missed shot was a slam dunk. To make matters worse, Macpherson, while defending Albanese, announced he would dispatch his Defence Minister to brief China on the communique. He even reminded Australian reporters to please give respect to China during their visit. Nothing says we've got your back, mate, like running to Beijing to explain what you just promised Anthony Albanese. The communique optimistically describes a future treaty that will one day bind our nations in mutual defence and maybe even let Papua New Guineans join the Australian Defence Force. But right now, that's as real as Anthony Albanese's backbone, something often spoken of but rarely cited. The tragedy is that the Pacific is not a debating club. It's the front line of strategic competition. China's throwing money and muscle into the region, while Australia's Prime Minister throws around words like upside. Macpherson worries about his country being invaded. Albanese seems to worry more about missing a photo opportunity. One leader is awake at night, the other is asleep at the wheel. If this is what passes for Australian diplomacy, then perhaps we should pray the communique includes a clause on counting failures as victories, because under Albanese, we're going to need it. This was blatant diplomatic incompetence, paraded in front of the world and confirming everything China and America already suspected about the Albanese government.